Foundations of Amateur Radio. The hobby of amateur radio is about communication. When you go on air and make noise, you initiate a communications channel, sending information out into the world and hoping for another station to receive and decode what you sent. The channel itself can be used in an infinite number of ways, and each one is called a modulation mode, or mode for short. The popular ones come with most radios, CW, AM, SSB and FM. Those few are not the only ones available. In fact, as computers are being integrated into the radio at an increasing pace, signal processing is becoming part and parcel of the definition of a mode, and new modes are being introduced at breakneck speed. I've talked about Whisper as an example of one such mode, but there are many, each with their own particular take on how to get information between two stations. As you listen on the bands, you'll increasingly find yourself hearing a bewildering litany of beeps, pops and clicks. Some of those are due to ionospheric conditions, but many are different modes that are being experimented with across our spectrum. If you have access to a band scope, a way of visualizing radio spectrum, you can actually see the shapes and patterns of such signals over time, and getting to that point can be as easy as feeding your radio audio into your computer and launching a copy of FLDigi or WSJTX. Every mode requires a specific tool to decode it, and with practice you'll discover that there is often a particular look or sound associated with a mode. Over time you'll confidently select the correct decoder, using your brain for the process of signal identification. Of course, if you don't have access to the library in your brain yet, since you've only just started, or if the mode you've come across is new, you'll need another library to discover what you found. There is such a library, the Signal Identification Wiki. It's a website that hosts a list of submitted signals grouped by usage type, including one for our community. On the amateur radio page of the Signal Identification Wiki, there are over 70 different modes listed, complete with a description, an audio file and a spectrogram. With that, you can begin to match what you've discovered on your radio to what the website has in the library, and determine if you can decode the incoming information. I will mention at this point that the Signal Identification Wiki is far from complete. For example, the Olivia mode has 40 so-called sub-modes, of which about 8 are in common use. Each of those sub-modes looks and sounds different. The wiki shows only a single line for Olivia. I'm pointing this out because the wiki allows you to submit a mode for others to use. If you have a signal, either by recording it off-air, or better still, recording it directly from the source, consider submitting it to the wiki so others can benefit from your experience. If you've come across a signal and you cannot figure out what it is, there are other places you can go for help. The 4,500 members of the Signal Identification sub on Reddit will happily look at and listen to your signal and try to help. Make sure you contribute some metadata like the time, frequency and location to accompany the spectrogram and audio. You might have come to this point wondering why I'm encouraging you to use and contribute to the wiki and ask for help on Reddit. Amateur radio is about experimentation. We love to do that, and as we make signal processing easier and easier, more people are making new modes to play with. The speed at which this is happening is increasing, and as an operator you can expect to come across new signals. I remember not that long ago, it was last month, tuning to an FT8 frequency and the person I was with asking what that sound was. They'd heard it before but never discovered its purpose, even though FT8 has been with us since the 29th of June 2017. What interesting signals have you come across, and how did you go with decoding them? I'm Ono, Victor Kilo 6, Foxtrot Lima, Alpha Bravo.